The NFL draft is far from an exact science, which is why we see GMs come and go so quickly over the years. But Todd McShay has made a career over this, and he has just released his first one of the season. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, it's that time of the NFL calendar again. We start talking mock drafts. Todd McShay has released his 1.0, so let's go through this. Let's air out some discrepancies that I have and go over who the Jets picked. A few things right off the bat that feel a little off to me. He's got the Browns taking a wide receiver. Doesn't feel like that's an area of weakness for them. Broncos taking a safety, same sort of thing there. Bucks needing interior defensive line help. Again, they have Barrett, Sauvé, and JPP. Yes, Barrett is a free agent. He could walk, but I don't see that as being a weakness on that line. And then back-to-back defenders for the Jags, a team that has a very good defense. You would think they'd want to surround Gardner Minshew or Nick Foles with some weapons, maybe some offensive line help. Feels a little wrong to me in that sort of grading assessment. Taking a little bit of a deeper dive into it, he has 8 wide receivers going in the first round. To put this in perspective, 2009, dating all the way back to 2009, so 11 years. I'm sure you could go back further than that. That's as far as I wanted to go. But if you look at wide receivers taken in the first round, the highest amount we've ever seen, 2015 and 2009, were 6 wide receivers taken. So I feel like 2020 with 8 wide receivers taken feels like that's a little bit high. I think we'll probably, as much as I like this wide receiver class, I don't think we'll see that many taken. The other thing that I didn't particularly like is that he had 3 offensive linemen going in the first round, and that feels very low to me. In 2017, there were 2 taken, but dating back to 2009, and you guys go back further than that if you want, but dating back to 2009, there's been an average of 6 offensive linemen taken each year. That's including the year with the 2 offensive linemen in 2017. So I feel like that's a little bit low. I think we'll see more of those guys start to slide into that first round. Now that I've kind of aired out a few of my grievances with this mock draft, let's dive into the pick-by-pick leading up to the Jets selection. At number 1, you have Cincinnati selecting quarterback Joe Burrow out of LSU. I have no problems with this. I think it makes a lot of sense. Number 2, the Giants taking Chase Young, the defensive end out of Ohio State. I really like this pick. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Giants. Now, he has come out and said that he's planning to return for his senior season, although I believe that's probably more of a ploy to get his teammates fired up to play in this, playoff situation. I don't think that he's actually going to return to school. When you're, taken as the number 2 overall player, you can always go back to school and earn a degree. And while I admire that, sort of aspect, I think he will eventually declare for this draft, and he will be taken number 2 overall, most likely by the Giants. At number 3, this is where I start to have a little bit of confusion. He has Washington taking the wide receiver Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama. I like Jerry Jeudy a lot. I don't really think that Washington makes sense there. This is where I look to see Andrew Thomas go off the board. And as a Jet fan, that kind of pains me because I want Andrew Thomas really badly. But you look at Trent Williams, the left tackle of the Redskins right now. He's in a holdout because of the whole medical fiasco that they've had going on over the last year. Hasn't played with the Redskins since. I think they're going to eventually wind up having to trade him and take his replacement. And with Andrew Thomas sitting there, I don't understand why you don't try to protect your franchise quarterback with a good offensive line. Now, yes, you're adding a weapon in Jerry Jeudy, but it just feels a little disconnected to me. At number 4, he has Miami taking the quarterback out of Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa. And I really like Tua. I was really upset to see him have that injury and go down. He has some concerns with where he might be taken in the draft. 4 feels kind of high for such an injury. I think he may not even play all of next year, so you're basically redshirting a guy, and you're only getting 3 to 4 cheap years out of this quarterback contract. So as much as the Dolphins have tanked and Tua makes a lot of sense for them in terms of scheme fit, I don't see it happening. At number 4, I think they could take Herbert, the quarterback out of Oregon. I do see this being a quarterback nonetheless, so whoever that is, insert quarterback here. At number 5, he has the Lions taking Jeff Okudah, the defensive back out of Ohio State. I like this pick. Darius Slay, very good cornerback for the Detroit Lions, is going into the last year of his contract in 2020. He's going to be 29, 30 years old. So starting to see the tail end of his career. They look to draft his replacement, and Okudah is a very good corner. I have no issues with this pick. At number 6, he has the second wide receiver coming off the board, CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma, linking him back up with Kyler Murray. I like this move a lot. I'm a big fan of CeeDee Lamb. I think he's actually probably the best wide receiver in this class. A lot of people are going to say Jerry Jeudy. I like CeeDee Lamb a lot. But linking him back up with Kyler Murray, there's already a chemistry there. I think this makes a lot of sense. Now, they could go Jerry Jeudy, since I have him falling a little bit, not going in that number 3 slot like he has slated. But I could definitely see wide receiver here with Larry Fitzgerald getting up there in age. You want to have that new connection for your young quarterback. At number 7, McShay has the Jets taking the offensive tackle out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas. I really like this pick. The Jets right now on Football Outsiders are ranked 30th overall in average sack rate. Really not good. The Jets actually have performed across the offensive line about as poorly as you could really look to perform. And look, Andrew Thomas is the best of the bunch. I do not foresee him falling this far. Again, I think he's going to go to Washington in that number 3 spot. But nonetheless, I'm very excited for this. Let's jump into him. He was recruited by Alabama, Auburn, and Florida, so he selected Georgia after a multitude of schools went after him. 6'5", 302 pounds, started out on the right-hand side his freshman year, played absolutely phenomenally, moved over to the left-hand side his sophomore year, had a little bit of ankle injuries, but wound up rebounding well. And, 2019 campaign, absolutely flawless. He has been the top-rated offensive lineman basically this entire season. So I 100% approve of this move. One thing we can also look at when we look at this mock draft, all the way down at 22, you have Dallas selecting a safety, Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. This is very interesting because obviously Jamal Adams was the whirlwind of trade rumors at the trade deadline with Dallas. Dallas were to trade us that 22 overall pick in the event that we were to move Jamal Adams. There's a few guys you can kind of look at. Right off the top of my head, it looks like Biadasz is not off the board yet. He's someone that I would highly consider, even stretching a little bit on. He's the center out of Wisconsin. Maybe you take a wide receiver there. There's a few guys he has going before that, but again, I don't see this many wide receivers going, so I think the Jets could have a really good choice of wide receiver at the middle to back end of that first round in the event we trade Jamal Adams. Guys, let me know what you think of Todd McShay's first mock draft of the season. Let me know who you want the Jets to select. Do you like that? Do you want us to trade out? Do you want us to trade up? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, go Jets.